continue exploring the Fated Castle. Pick up that grimoire. It wants me to go that way, but I want to go this way. I already completely understand everything. Humanity has no idea to, nor should they, control any knowledge beyond their abilities. In a way, it is not people who pursue knowledge, but knowledge that pursues people. I have an idea. It's one I never mentioned to the Golden Hunter before he left. Why not rebuild the long-abandoned town of Petrichor? We can attract refugees to live here and spread other versions of the legend that way. They will actively protect the rebuilt seals, and the secrets of this place will be forever. Oh, that's interesting. Uh-oh. The whale. It's a strange shiny fish again. Feels like it's been following us from outside all this time. How weird. Paimon, have you witnessed so little of the world as to find such things strange? Are we not underwater? Is it not ordinary to see all manner of fish about? Uh-oh. Eh? But this big guy looks anything but ordinary, and this voice, I've heard it before. Seriously? You mean from the dream you had before? Sigh, this part of the sea outside is like the castle. It belongs to the past. It is something that should have been forgotten. If one ceaselessly calls out to a monster that has been blotted from memory, they might yet jump out and cause trouble. It is wise to be cautious, for it is for the best if we simply treat it as an ordinary fish. You make everything sound so scary, Aussie. Are you trying to creep us out or something? I simply mean to avoid unnecessary complications. After all, our top priority is to retrieve the surface dwellers' souls. No? It just so happens there's a blank score before us. We simply need to use the music box to tune the auto-harmonic reed pipes on either side, and we can obtain it. Give it a go. An auto-harmonic device built by the ancient civilization obsessed with music. It must be tuned to the correct mode using the power of the symphony. As you hold and unleash play sound waves, the soundboard will keep sliding. Release to cause it to point at the specific note. This will allow you to change the tuning. Once a set of auto-harmonic reed pipes have been appropriately tuned, the note floating above them will change. So what the correct note is, you might be able to find clues nearby. Okay. Let me hit this viewpoint before I move on. Secret locale of the ancient order.
You even want this?
Continue exploring the Fated Castle. But the score is totally blank. It looks like we won't be able to play it with the music box either. What are we going to do with it then? If there's nothing, then that means that any melody can be written upon it. We will be able to make use of this. No, wait. This way. Spooky. Stage of Fated Gold added to the archive. Wait. Oh, okay. Is this the stage you spoke of earlier, Aussie? And our Paimon's eyes deceiving her? Is the mural on top still moving? It's kind of spooky. That terrifying power couldn't be escaped from here, could it, Aussie? Hey, Aussie, are you spacing out? Meow. My apologies, I was distracted for a moment. Did you once perform on this stage? Is that why you're feeling nostalgic or something like that? Did you play a cat? Perhaps you were an audience member. That seems unlikely. I might have or I might not. It was all in the past either way, utterly irrelevant. What matters now is the scent of discord I smell in the air. Is there some presence, one that makes me uneasy once visited this place? I fear that specifics may only be ascertained once we have performed the score here. This one here too, Paimon didn't notice. Well, you may have seen scores shaped like strings, but you have not seen those shaped like murals. One such is before you. Oh, so the pictures are moving because it's actually a score? Yes. Did we not find a blank score before? It is now time to perform it. Please do the honors. So if I'd come here first, it would have told me to go find a blank one. Okay.
Quit following me.
Not only do we have the same hardy skin, but in our veins flows the same divine essence. We share the same wisdom and melody, the same will. Whoa, someone's coming out of the mural. It has been too long, dear friend. How many years since that day? 500? Thousands? Still, time matters not to us at all. You may be in the small body now, but I recognized you in an instant. Well, have you tired of battle and decided to take up rat catching as a new hobby? It is you. And what is he exactly? A monster or a ghost? Or could he be the real Dark Lord? Dark Lord. Barbarians remain barbarians, I see. Ignorant even of their own ignorance. Boethius of Remuria am I. Foremost Harmist of Phobos. You need not introduce yourselves. I have no interest in the titles peddled by primitives. You know this rude fellow, Aussie? I do not deny it, but... Need you be so formal, Cassidor? Do our years of service under our Sebastus, our God King, matter so little to you? The past is past. I do not know how you, whose soul has long been shattered, have manifested, but it seems that the chaotic symphony is your doing, and none other. Cease, return the souls of those who live in the present, and go back to the shadow beneath the deep waters to where you belong. This is my final warning to you. Oh, and what then? Will you continue wearing your mask of hypocrisy, traitor? Will you shut your eyes and ears for another millennium? But you have noticed, haven't you, why my melody would break its bonds at this time and affect the present? Why my strength has given me the might to open the gate to the deep waters, allowing me to manifest. The power of the sea surges, Cassiodor. The return of Phobos is imminent. Phobos? Yes, indeed. Over these thousands of years, I have already bound my soul to the shattered Phobos. The omniscient enigma, the great power, is about to finally descend once again. And is this not the wish that we once failed to accomplish? To repeat the past is to give the ancient tragedy an encore, nor have I ever wanted to sacrifice innocent lives. Ah, is that so? Well then, not that it matters, Cassiodor. The world you have defended is coming apart at the seams. The people of bygone times you see before you shall return to their rightful places. Fontaine's existence is a mistake, one we shall correct. When the oceans swallow it, Remuria shall rise above the sea once again, and its light shall shine over the land. Spooky. Is this because of the primordial sea? How can you call it a mistake? Do even barbarians know of its existence nowadays? You are the mistaken one. We should have assimilated into this new nation thousands of years ago, but it was you who warped them into puppets of ancient hate. Whether that Phobos matter is true or false, as long as my will has not dissipated, your schemes will not succeed. Do you mean to say, then, that we should abandon our hope as Remurians and degenerate into mere base insects? How could I ever allow my kin to return to these days of decaying flesh, to those bags of decaying flesh, and become slaves to fate once more? It seems that the millennia have not led you to accept Remuria's downfall. If anything, you have grown more obstinate still. Perhaps it is in our stubbornness alone that we are quite similar. I thought that the long years would have rendered you willing to once more stand by our side. You betrayed the tribe that birthed you, and you betrayed Remuria. You may have become the Golden Hunter, but you cannot remove the brand of the Sebastus that marks you still. You will always be a Remurian. Remurians have long ceased to exist, save in your delusions. The world of old has passed away. Of course, or so it was meant to be, but now the border between past and present has faded. If you insist on becoming the enemy of our ancient realm and sealing me once more in a cage buried beneath the waves, then those Fontainians you wish to protect, yes, all of Petrichor shall be buried as one. Huh? No way, we won't let that happen. That is not up to you, insolent savage. When that time comes, your lowly flesh will be rendered as dust, but your souls will join with ours and take the next step of evolution. We shall bestow upon you eternal, resilient bodies that you may never again suffer mortal pain. Are they Cybermen? Is this just Cybermen? Like, be real with me right now. Should you have words of gratitude, I will hear them. You've got to be kidding me. That's not something we'd be thankful for at all. Just like those puppets who danced as you performed, those pitiable slaves and servants, those poor children, everything was stripped from them, and you still speak with such conviction. All things have their price. Narrow personal opinions are refuse to be discarded by a higher class of beings such as I. Besides, as I see it, they are the ideal form of humanity, adhering unerringly to perfect order. It is just straight up Cybermen. What's going on? You're absolutely nuts. And despicable, too. Despicable, huh? And what would you call what Cassiodor did to us thousands of years ago then? By comparison, this is nothing. But patience. We should have a good long talk, but not here, no. We shall speak beneath the deep waters in the deepest bowels of our ancient realm where everything began. The realm awakens, Cassiodor. You are the sole survivor of our fallen realm. The sole Remurian left with free will, and you have left us for far too long. You must return to us and listen to the lamentation and anger of the long years. Perhaps then you shall be more receptive to my symphony and to the arrangement of Phobos. I will await you in the royal city of Remuria in Domus Aurea, Where the Sebastus plied his melody, I will of course extend the appropriate hospitality to those souls from the present before your arrival. Should you still remain resolute when the time comes, their souls will naturally receive their release. And as for you, you are not part of Phobos' plan, and yet the Great Symphony shall in no wise cast out any audience. Do enjoy the passing prelude I have prepared for you. If fortune proves favorable, we shall meet again. Wilds. Oh, good.
Busted.
Just the two for now.
May I present? Watch out! Attack!
Game's up. Time's over.
Hiya! Watch out!
Oh yeah. Predicted this.
Gotcha.
Coming at ya! A proper send-down from the Cena with love.
That was easy. That showed up. What do we do now, though? If we want to save the souls of the townspeople, we're gonna have to head to the Dumas aria of whatever that super rude duper arrogant guy talked about, right? As you might recall, we weren't invited, since when have we ever needed invitations to crash some bad guy's party? Oh, right. But from what he said, he seems to have known Aussie for a long time. Said they worked for the Sebastus or whatever. We need to have a good talk before we go. Cassiodor. If you have anything you'd like to ask me this time, I should tell you all I know. Tell us about Remuria. That's where you and that rude fellow are both from, right, Aussie? We've heard that name before. Seems to be an ancient nation. Very well. The story begins before the court of Fontaine, as you know it was born. The Sebastus Remus founded a nation above the high sea that is Fontaine, and the ancestors of the present-day Fontanians named him the Dark Lord Remus in their terror. Before it sank, this body of water was part of the Great Fontaine Lake and the location where the capital of Remuria was sited. As such, these waters have the same properties as those of Fontaine. Wait, so we're actually in the ruins of Remuria now? Indeed, but where the tale differs from commonly told history is the people of Remuria were not ordinary humans like the Fontanians. Rather, they were a new race. Their bodies were cast of stone with ichor for blood. The Sebastus gave us such bodies in the hope that we could escape our prisons of rotting flesh and fate. His great vision was that we could all grasp the power of the symphony and thereby escape the shackles of Fortuna, becoming the masters of our own destiny. So those stone statues we saw on the way here, those were your kin? Precisely so. I fear that they have long lost their free will, however, becoming mindless slaves, worse off by far than the humans of old, easily perishable though they are. Wait, in that case, why are you a cat? I am a cat for now. And one's will and soul are more important than one's body, are they not? Regardless, it was the Sebastus who gave me new life. We once possessed all of the high sea, countless cities and palaces, flowers, flowing wine, and yet fate found us all the same. After returning from the deepest depths of the sea, the Sebastus used ichor to create imperishable bodies for the people, and still the prophesied future did not change. Our God King believed that it was because human souls could not escape the gravity of fate, and so he wrote the symphony, a music that could weave destiny. He believed that through this he had found a way to resist fate, but instead that path led us into utter darkness step by step. And in the end, the entire kingdom sank beneath the waves as though it had been smote by divine judgment. Oh no. I fear that even he did not foresee such an outcome, though all the same, that is what happened. If you have anything you'd like to ask me this time, I should tell you all I know. Your impudent friend. Right, and he called you Cassiodor or something, right? But aren't you called or something? Just as I have traversed many bodies, I have had many names. Of course, this is all thanks to the Sebastus, who separated my soul from the Grand Symphony. A convenient ability indeed. You weren't planning on puppeting one of us at some point, were you? But back to Boethius. He was not always evil. He was once a noble harmist of Remuria, and the sole survivor following the great catastrophe that befell. The original purpose of the Golden Castellum was to unify our surviving kin and prevent the catastrophe of the rising waters from ever occurring again. But evidently, Boethius had his own designs. While I and my companions ranged across the land, struggling mightily to contain the power of the primordial waters, he used his eloquent tongue to sway those who remained. He initiated a fell ritual that aimed to restore the shattered symphony and revive the ruined realm. To this end, he did not hesitate to dissolve the will of our kin and plunder the souls of Fontanians everywhere. Many rulers and nobles became his pawns, and Polites, newly born, lay on the brink of destruction. To stop him, who had by now clearly become a monster, I could only forsake my name and become one who hunts phantoms, resisting him alongside the Fontanians. Bitter was the conflict before we were at last able to seal both him and the sea that had devoured our nation. And that is why he named you traitor. I followed the Sebastus precisely because he had shown me that golden dream, a land where prejudice and difference were no more, a land of justice and freedom. But that was what it had become after Remuria, saying, no more than a dream. I would rather be called a traitor than let Boethius trample on our ideals. I swore upon fate that I would serve as the barrier between past and present, thus did I become the spirit keeper of our ancient land. Guess Mr. Impolite's a pretty stubborn guy, huh? Even after being beaten up and sealed, he's still looking to break out and cause trouble. I thought that even if evil lingered in him, his soul had long been broken, and he would remain naught but discordant notes, a symphony plunged into strife. I never thought that he would weave his shattered self into the symphony and thus gain mastery over it. The discordant dissonance that now emanates from these waters can be regarded as an extension of his power. If we are to defeat him, I fear we must await the moment when all his soul fragments have gathered around one body. Do you have anything you'd like to ask me? Let's hear about the symphony and Phobos. Where should I even begin? The symphony is human memory and persona woven into a melody through musical notation, creating a song in which human souls can dwell and have their wishes fulfilled. In that way, to master the symphony is to master fate. That is the secret that the great golden bee Sibylla, the prophet who survived the previous cycle, imparted. The Sebastus, who created the symphony, poured these melodies into the insoluble ichor in hopes that all might control their own fates through playing that music. He overestimated us, I fear, for his deeds terrified us. The people could not bear the burden of fate, and they begged their god and superiors for guidance. At the request of the people, the Sebastus wrote all melodies into the grandest of melodies. This new symphony would bring us all the greatest of happiness, and its name was Phobos. But it did not bring what was promised. Indeed, you saw how it all ended, didn't you? Had the Sebastus' plan worked, the symphony would have woven a melody of utmost greatness for us all in eternity that would last 1,000 years and beyond, but something went wrong. Besides the Sebastus himself, only said superiors, the harmists, could have changed Phobos' melody. And Boethius was once an excellent harmist. You have anything? Okay. So about the dreamscape I saw. You tell of the strange dream you saw before. Ah yes, those were indeed the memories left by he whom I served, the Sebastus, the God King Remus. Though I do not understand how you were able to see them, Zapire, but I do not think you need to worry. If this chaotic symphony was enough to control you, it would have done so long ago on the surface, but that has not happened, yes? Speaking of which, why isn't Esta affected? Is he just especially gifted? I do have some idea, but it might be best to wait for the right time to speak of that. Oh, here we go again with the cliffhangers. Just don't forget to tell us, alright? In any case, since you can see these things, Zapire, that means that some fragment of the Sebastus' will and memory remains in this underwater symphony. Long millennia have I searched, and if you could touch some more of these memories, perhaps I may find the answers I have sought all this time. The great waves could not hurt a god, even should their crests scrape the very skies, and yet the Sebastus disappeared without a trace when our nation fell into the depths. He would not have sat idly by as his nation and people drowned in blood, so where did he go, or was his passing Remuria's true death knell? That's all for now. We can leave the rest for later. Very well. If there's anything else you wish to know, do not hesitate to ask me. Guess we're heading to Domus Aurea next, so we can meet that rude guy, right? It's going to be dangerous for sure, but I will continue to guide you. It is, after all, my homeland. Though it may have sunk to the very bottom of the sea, I remember its path still, even after all these millennia. Or so I believe. Just don't let us down when it counts. Cat's out of the bag. Should we encounter difficulties, you may count on me. Do not forget that I am far stronger than any ordinary cat. Now, every time Paimon remembers that you're actually an ancient person from thousands of years ago, it just feels wrong that we're calling you Aussie. But your full name is way too long, so okay, let's just call you Monsieur Os, then. What do you think? Is it polite enough? A name to me is nothing more than a label, but as this represents your acknowledgement, Paimon, I will gladly accept it. Let's move out. It'd be too bad to keep your rude friend waiting, but the townspeople can't wait for that long. After you load a blink score, you can activate the performance device to begin glorious on-stage performance. As you are performing, the stage will fire off no bubbles of different types. If you can collect a certain number of no bubbles during this time, the performance will proceed normally. Use the power of the symphony by pressing to unleash a pause sound wave and cause the no bubbles to stop moving, all the better for you to collect them. While you are performing, you might encounter all sorts of unexpected situations. Find a way to conquer these challenges and complete your performance. Once the giant ship Fortuna in the mural reaches its destination, your performance will have reached its perfect conclusion. Let me see if I can try to get my mouse to be better again. Customize 5. Okay. During a storm, the stage will also be subject to unpredictable thunder strikes. Find a way to avoid them and complete the performance. Okay. Unpredictable thunder strikes. Let's do this. Chill on.
Take it easy.
Huh? Whoa. Unpredictable thunderbolts. Ah! What? Oh no. Oh no. Oh goodness. Come on. Ah.
Oh, brilliant!
Wild. It's pretty fun. Oh my goodness.
Go on. You have my approval.
Whoa. Oh yeah, still have that. Wait. Can I use in the current state? Interesting. Up that way.
Behold! Quit following me.
Interesting. Oh.
Busted.
Watch out! Ah,
Quietly now.
Dude, work.
ha!
Take it and have fun. Too slow.
T, E. Yeah, I'm gonna go on. Aussie. Damaged score. Are several chunks missing though? Oh, was that just a sit? Dialogue, yeah.
Quit following me. Unnecessary.
Busted.
Fire! Well, with rocks. Hey there!
Things are about to get dicey.
The wind rises.
Easy money.
Easy money. Through these methods, the quality can be pierced, endowed with the form of a substance similar to Remus's ancient authority, stripped away, placed within. This way it is possible to recreate once more the perfect harmony of something that belonged only to humanity that played before their utter downfall. No more gods, only man can rule over man. Substance, property are not important. Quality is what determines the essence of things. The object that plays the music could be the strings of the harp, a sword, or even, as long as it is an object bestowed with meaning, anything. The sword forged from the bones of Blink to honor the memory of the noble Ergetia had Phobos' collapse not caused her music to sink into the sea of pandemonium. We could have together for a moment of madness he betrayed us all. The false god's will was like a weed floating upon the water, unable to rival that of humans, but that matters not now. In the end, humans alone shall be saved if only the following lines have been brutally erased and cannot be read. Oh, okay. Just a sword. Let's play one of that. Free me.
Easy money.
Here's the everything in there. Out that way. Alas, we found no noteworthy Remurian treasures other than Blank, nothing but more a dozen ancient bric-a-brac from storehouses. If what the Golden Hunter said was true, then the Blank we initially sought has long since sunk to the bottom of the sea alongside Capitolium. Most of the relics here are from the Golden Troop, not Blank. Regardless, we have not the time to retrieve the relics now. Our current priority is to steal this place. I marked the location of the relics on the map, perhaps Sunday. So I just grabbed something from down there, right? Oh. Oh, shoot.
The show begins!
There's another grimoire. Up we go.
Take it easy. A chest full of valuables and a trove of potential clues.
Ito, ha ha ha. Just keep on spinning. So, I hit it again. Goodbye. A lot of lizards.
Quit following me.
Oh, there was a grimoire around here somewhere.
Too slow.
There we go.
You even want this?
I'm already at 79% of this region. So I got double up?
Take it easy.
I don't know. I think I just got them all. I did 4. That's what it says. So we're just gonna move on.
Take it easy.
Watch out! Hiya!
Another one. Another one.
Treasure. One way to draw your target out of hiding.
Wrong button.
Take it easy.
Matter of paramount importance is to be able to properly distinguish the different categories of music so as not to misunderstandings caused by confusion regarding the meaning of words. There are 3 categories of music in this world. 1, the musical mondana, another musical humana, and the third, the musical instrumentalist. The musical mondana is the musical origin. It's the beginning and end of all music. From it does all spring, and to it shall all return. False and true celestial signs, namely the inner and outer, lower and upper astrological signs. Yerkeshia will provide a detailed explanation of this section of the turning of the seasons and passing of time, the defined elements, everything in the universe operations according to the order of this music. This was not translated very well. Here, special attention should be paid to the connection between the music mondana and the fortuna. The latter includes the former, and the former does not equate to the latter. Any music with specification similar to fortuna can be called musica mondana, for it itself would be equal to an entire world. Just as Cassiodora taught you before, the fortuna we speak of here and the Sebastians have no blank. Latter is named for the former, while the former is the rules that govern all things and the fate of which slaves speak. Musica humana is the music of the world of mortals. The world of mortals and gods are no different from one another, and both can be classified in this category, for their essence is that of the harmony produced by musica mondana, strength and quality of the soul. Imagine a harp where every physical entity in the world corresponds to a single one of its fine strings. Magnificent music comes from not from a single string, but the resonance of all strings. This is the music we call the musica mondana. As your fingers glide across the edge of the strings, the middle section will vibrate along with it, creating a sound most pleasing. However, you did not touch the middle of the strings at all, and the reason it sounds is simply because it's attached to you. What I must emphasize to you is that, just as in the string metaphor, the music of mortals and gods can both be played, just like you can choose to play the middle of the strings and not the ends, and it is for this reason that the musica harmona can replace the musica mondana. We will discuss this in detail later. The musica instrumental is the most fundamental music, and there's no need to elaborate on it. Even slaves can understand. Next, I must elaborate for you the nature of Phobos and why the musicless cannot be regardless as humans equal to us based on morality and rationality. Wild. That one's good. This one's the second one. I'm just gonna teleport.
Squall and Fury.
Yeah. That's a lot easier.
Unnecessary.
Got all the chests up here. Should mean, yeah, I'm pretty close to 100%. I might just... Yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna stop the recording after I do this one, I guess, and then just run around up in the top upper world and get my 100% up here. And I'll go into the lower worlds another day. Okay. But yeah, I just want to see what all is even up here.
A chest full of valuables and a trove of potential clues.
So yeah, once I leave this area, because I guess I do still have another grimoire.
Coming at ya! How brilliant! Watch out!
Gotcha. Quietly now.
Oh goodness. There have always been various misunderstandings regarding the northern barbarians. These misunderstandings are not conducive to conquering and pacifying them, nor are they beneficial to the long-term well-being of the Empire. For these reasons, I, Hersheyus, the Vicarious of Legio the Sixth, rid me Versi, in accordance with the exalted Harmost I'm so bad at saying their name every time. Eurygicias, universally known benevolence and authority, hereby faithfully record all I know for posterity so that any future successors may fulfill their duty to safeguard the northern border with less trouble. Society. The social structures of different chiefdoms vary dramatically. Most chiefdoms are still in the stage of rudimentary clan-based societies, with the councils composed of clan chiefs holding the highest authority. However, the moniker tribe has long ceased to be an accurate descriptor for some chiefdoms. Though many are loath to admit this, we must face the fact that they have broken free from primal barbarism. For example, before the polis of Lugdunensis was raised by Legio V, its population exceeded blank. It's a trade hub of many northern chiefdoms. Its degree of prosperity could be favorably compared to blank. The ruler of the area did not call themselves a chieftain, but a holy king, and they believed their authority to rule came from an ancient sword bestowed upon them by the mother of many springs. So I think this is Natlan is what we're talking about, but I don't know. That's very European, so it might be Fontaine still. Naturally, any rational citizen knows that strange women lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. Haha, classic joke. Supreme executive power derives from melody and harmony, not from some farcical antiquatic ceremony. Sure. Another example, blank is ruled by a council of astrologists, and they use blank to set apart young children with elemental affinity, raising them to become blank, and these people can nearly rival our legions in battle. Is that Star Wars? Built by Marius Servius, this city mentioned here has already been subjugated and raised by the exalted Harmos Boethius, its name erased from memory. Past the conquest of tribes still in a primitive state could be completed simply by dealing with the clan elders of each clan. A few decades ago, the exalted Harmist Aurelius successfully concluded his northern campaign through such methods, without even resorting to violence, simply by dispatching legionnaires to annex the conquest, and the various insular tribes on those remote islands were incorporated into the Empire's territory. However, following the conquest of Armorica, such tribes grew fewer and fewer. Different methods ought to be used to pacify different chiefdoms. Just as the exalted Harmos Ergutia once said, it is because they are ignorant savages by nature that we must first understand them before they can understand us. The following pages have been erased and cannot be read. Beliefs. Goodness, this is so much reading. Today, the belief that the barbarians of the north worship a false god or evil god known as the mistress of all waters is widespread. However, this is a fiction created as a result of the conquest of Armorica. Its leader had forced other chiefdoms to acknowledge that their gods were all aspects of the mistress of all waters, regardless of what god they originally worshipped or what names they had. In other words, the barbarians of the northern border region do not have a single centralized belief system. Even to this day, they do not have unified understandings of the concept of the mistress of all waters. The leader of Armorica seemed not to mind this point, as she only demanded they worship the same name without prescribing the contents of their beliefs. Regardless, blood and barbarism pervade their belief system. Some scholars believe this is because they never received a response from the gods and can only resort to increasingly violent and extreme sacrifices to prop up their false beliefs. Showing them the mercy of the Sebastus is meaningless, for mercy is regarded as weakness by the savages. The correct approach is to point out to them that the Sebastus can easily defeat their false gods, and only the Sebastus is powerful enough to be worthy of worship. The following page has been erased and cannot be read. Okay, I think this is the last section. Aramorica, once an obscure and unknown tribe, but today the center of power in the northern border region. Its former ruler, Canoricus, bent the knee to the empire some 20 years ago. As for its current ruler, the infamous Irenaeus, we know little indeed. From captured slaves, we have learned that she is not the heir of Canoricus. The latter did originally have a son as well, named Caius. However, we are unsure when and how she became the ruler of Aramorica. Regardless of how she claims to have been blessed by the false god, she has never demonstrated any abilities surpassing those to be expected of any ordinary mortal. Everything she has done so far amounts to nothing more than using insidious plots and base treachery to commit abhorrent crimes against the Empire and its citizens. Only those who are utterly helpless, teetering on the brink of death, would choose to believe in a woman proclaiming to be able to hear the will of the gods and flock to her banner. Just as the exalted Armos Dargutia said, she simply does not believe in any god at all, for none with faith would commit such atrocities in the name of a god. No, by Marius Servius, the name Irenaeus is suspected to be the result of a careless error when it was first transcribed, for the name has no meaning in their language. In the script of the people of bygone times, the symbol for the sound GH looks quite similar to Y, and so was copied as such. There is a precedent for similar mistakes. The proper pronunciation of the name should be Aragenth. Aragenth of Aramorica in the language of the people of bygone times. Air signifies high, while Aragenth would be the feminine case of ruler. From this perspective, this name is perhaps not her praenomen, but rather her title. However, since many scholars already refer to her as Irenaeus, there's no need for me to assume the authority to revise it. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, not relevant information, but just cool, you know? They're just like, yeah, by the way, Irenaeus the Regent actually means Her Highness. To be fair, I just completely missed that one earlier, so I might run around a bit more. But yeah, and I do still know, at the very least, about that one, right? How do I get out of here? I came this way.
Take it easy.
And teleport. Loved by books. I love books back. Yeah, still not. Oh no.
Hey there! Hiya! Attack!
Busted.
Probably didn't need the ult there, but whatever. The Golden Hunter knows far more about Remuria than I expected, according to historical records of Marchi's hunters. Should have first become active a few decades after the fall of Remuria, by which point the concept of Loch Knights had completely died out in Fontaine. No matter the dramatic adaptation, none would put the Marchi's hunters, Remuria, and Loch Knights together. These concepts simply do not belong to the same era. Even a 5-year-old child would not commit such grave error, yet none of what he discussed seemed to have anything to do with the Golden Troop, but instead was indeed, always was, about ancient Remuria. I have a theory that I dare not raise with him directly. Perhaps the Golden Hunter is not the devout orphan called and chosen by Egeria, but is in fact one of the last Remurian remnants. The only problem with this theory is that it cannot explain his immortality. I indirectly broached the issues of the Loch Knights with him. I couldn't discern his expression, but he seemed reluctant to discuss the topic. Quite surprising, after all. It is commonly said that the first Marchi's hunters to follow him were the heirs of the Loch Knights, such as Esta and Walter. Could it be that they were like him, no matter what? According to him, the priority now is to stop something awakening from the seals. These historical questions that can be left for a later date. Esta?
Whoa! What a stroke of good luck!
Alrighty. Oh yeah, those... There's something, but I just can't get to it right now. Oh, that's above. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, I'll go ahead and stop the recording there and just run around in the upper world for just a little bit more, trying to get up to 100%. But yeah, thanks for watching.